Heavy Podcast, hosted by Craig Kasamis. What's up, guys? Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast. Another beautiful episode coming at you. A very special guest, my mom, Tammy Kasamis, Mean Tammy Jean, Mama K, as most of you know her, a woman that's raised literally hundreds of children illegitimately, and a handful of fucking kids legitimately. She is a legendary figure in my mind and most of Ventura's. It was so fun to talk to her. She's one of my favorite people in the world. She's one of the funniest fucking people I've ever met. And we probably got to the very tip of the iceberg of the chaos that we all grew up in together. So enjoy that. This podcast is sponsored by Salzer's Records. 50 plus years. They have been serving the area as one of the only and largest independent music shops in the country. Right here, Ventura, California, off Victoria, 5777 Valentine Road. Open daily, 11 to 7. If you like records, CDs, tapes, used shit, all kinds of accessories, posters, T-shirts. They got an incredible gift shop upstairs, jewelry, jewels, all kinds of shit, purses, socks, anything you want. Check out the head shop for all of you little dab supporters, dude. All the guys that like to get so fucking high you can't feel your face. That they got all the shit up there. I mean, water pipes, bongs, whatever they call them now, bubblers, fucking everything. I'm using terms that are actually probably way outdated. So they are in date there. They know what the fuck they're talking about, and I don't. So go check it out. They got an incredible adult shop for all you little freaks that like to get twisted up there. Check it out. The independent fucking spot, right? 50 years, the Salzers family. I'd love to see this place run another 50. Big shout out to Jim, RIP. Check out the video store across the street. Probably the last video store on earth. You can find shit there that you can't find on YouTube. I'll say that. You know what I mean? Check that shit out. And God damn it, man. Salzer's fucking Records. Having said all that, now time for some shameless self-promotion. My band TUNG is going to be playing our first show August 7th here in Ventura, California at Gigi's Bar, Cocktail Lounge, as they maybe call it. We're very excited. This is technically our first show back since COVID and really our record release because our record came out in the middle of COVID. The album's called Bleak, and we didn't get to do anything for it. We got a new guitar player we're breaking in. It's going to be an incredible night. $10 at the door, 21 plus. Gigi's here in Ventura. Look for the link in the description below this podcast. Very excited about that. Goat Rhythm's playing with us. We got Easy Death. We got the band Lungs from LA. All incredible music. Starts at 8 p.m. Come down and check it out. It should be awesome. Also, go ahead and check out the Get Heavy Patreon page, patreon.com/getheavypodcast. $1 a month gets you in the door. You get early access to all these episodes, bonus content, all kinds of shit like that. These episodes go up a week early. So that's pretty cool. Check that out. And then check out the merch, dude. Check out the merch. Localshop.com/getheavypodcast. We got awesome shirts, mugs, dog tags, whatever you want with that Get Heavy logo on there. I got sweatpants and all kinds of cool shit coming up soon. We're going to be start launching all that. Some new designs coming out. So check that for updates. Also, link in description below. And lastly, rate, subscribe, review, comment, all that shit on this podcast. Tell your fucking friends. I really, really can't thank you guys enough for the amount of love I get. Some emails, all that stuff. I mean, it really means the world to me. I'm out here on my own little island. I'm just trying to do the best I can, trying to get my feet wet, trying to find my voice. I appreciate everyone that's gone along on the ride. Hit that notifications bell on YouTube. And having said all that, enjoy the episode. Hi, Mom.
Hi, son.
How are you on the podcast?
I'm good. I'm good. Just glad to be here.
You wondering what this is?
I'm hoping it's not an intervention.
It's my list of traumas that I want you to explain.
Oh man, we're already going down the shithole right now.
I'm so excited you got on here.
I'm excited
We were
too.
just talking about, this is my mother for everyone.
Hello.
Tammy Kasamis, Mean Tammy Jean. She goes by many names. Mama K. We'll give us some of the other hits.
Yeah, there's a few of them that some I can say and some I can't. So, anyways, but yeah. No, I think Mama K is my favorite of all, but Mean Tammy Jean stuck.
Yeah,
I had to hold my own
for many years.
So
a true desert rat.
A complete desert rat. Yeah. Who is a complete local beach person now.
I know. I always tell everyone that I'm from the desert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in talking, because it's a much funner story. But really, we moved out of there when I was, 10?
Yeah.
11,
yeah.
You know?
I am. Jimmy imported us. That's what he said.
That's right.
And I decided that I was going to raise you guys at the beach, and that was that. So I did it. The desert just didn't seem to give anything, anything at all. And I used to come down on the weekends all the time, and the atmosphere, just everything about it was everywhere I wanted to raise my kids. So I just sacrificed everything I could and boogied.
Yeah.
That was it. So I just went.
I love it.
I do too.
I never thank you, but thank you for bringing me here.
You know,
I would never. I think I'd be a totally different human. I think if I stayed out there,
everybody would
all
be.
of us would be. Yeah.
You'd probably have a mullet.
Oh yeah, well, I had a mullet.
Yeah, you did. And a rat tail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but I wanted to get, because we have so many family stories, right?
Yes.
I mean, like a ridiculous amount of family stories.
It's unreal.
Tell everyone where you grew up, how you grew up. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Well, I grew up in Lancaster, California, and I grew up in a cul-de-sac at Temple Homes in that area. And it was a very 1972, you played outside, kick the can, smear the queer. You can't even say that anymore.
We're already up to that.
Yeah, you can't even say that word anymore. Yeah, you're not allowed to do that. And you played you had hoses in the front yard, and you had water fights, and you hung out, and all the parents were young, kids were young. It was a great place actually to grow up. So.
I know, but we know that you were wild.
Completely.
When did that start?
Wild.
Your best friend, my Aunt Lisa Kansas.
Oh my God!
Shout out Adam. He was on the podcast for kid.
Yeah.
But where, at what point was it always wild?
Yeah. No, it was. You know what? It was my soul. From the time I was little, I remember looking at my parents and thinking, "What in the fuck are they talking about?"
Yeah.
But I met Lisa when we were in 3rd grade, and I remember her outfit. I mean, like, that's how detailed it was.
Yeah.
We started hanging out, and she came from a huge family, Kansaneries, 6 kids, no control, just didn't matter what happened, and we hung out. But we were just wild. I mean, we started in junior high, and I mean, my parents looked at me continually and just thought, what in God's name's the matter with this chick? I really believe that I didn't need rules. At all. None. Yeah. So anyways,
believed you did.
Yeah, I believed I did not.
But you
it worked out so well for me when I left with your dad at 15, you know? Yeah. Anyways, but
the story of you seeing and meeting dad are,
right? I mean, I don't,
the water tower.
It's not even the water tower. Meeting your dad was a fate that was out of my control. You know what I mean? It was like, I saw a picture of him in school. Oh. And somebody was passing around a picture of him, and I was like,
"That passing around pictures of him."
Yeah, and it was not naked; it was just a headshot. Okay. Anyways, and this headshot. Yeah. Anyways, but he no, yeah. Good God. So, but I mean, I saw it, and something was there, and I was like, "That's I'm going to meet that guy." And it ended up being we met on blind dates, and we went on a blind date to Bob Seger, and that was our first date. Yeah. He pulled up in his Chevy around window truck that literally ran out of gas on the way home from Bob Seger.
Did it really?
Yeah. And I was pushing it as he was sitting in the seat. I don't know how. Yeah. Yes. He was sitting in the seat, staring, telling me that he was doing something. Right. And then he said, that's when he knew I was a keeper. Okay. I was like, I don't know.
So on the way home, he runs out of gas.
Yeah. Somehow
you get out and push.
Yeah, somehow. Yes.
By yourself.
I'm, 15 and a half, 110 pounds soaking wet. Yeah. And you're pushing it uphill in the middle of the desert.
And then he's helping? He's not helping.
He was doing something in there, but anyways, I'm not sure what. But it was fate. And then I saw him a few more times. I saw him at a party, standing on a tower. he was in a flannel and he was spitting on people. And I just knew that was the guy for me.
Not one of those is a red flag.
No red flags there. Anyways, nothing. So it continued on. I saw him at a party. The first time he ever kissed me, he threw a guy through the window and ran out and kissed me and then ran off. I thought, Jesus, that was great. Anyways, it was a fairy tale in a weird, kind of crazy desert way.
Now, the 70s, though, were fucking wild anyway, right?
They were pretty.
Do you think there was like, because I think about this a lot, like growing up in the 90s, it was a pretty mild time in history, right? But the 70s is coming off the 60s, 80s shit. Like,
it was
it seems like that whole generation was fucking.
It was
tired of the uptight, weird behavior, right?
Just like not going to
be 50s even. Your parents would have grown up in the 50s,
right?
Grandpa,
they definitely grew up in the 50s.
Because then they act like it.
Yes, they still act like it. But it was wild. You just did things, and when you decide that you don't need any rules, you get into some stuff, Yeah. So I mean, I partied and did things, and got the whole freshman class screwed up on Purple Haze, and I don't know how that happened.
And you skated.
I skateboarded all over town. I skateboarded with a bunch of guys out in it was a water reservoir. And we used to skate the banks all the time. And I skated all over town. We skated everywhere. Me and Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because you would even, as a kid, when I got into skating, I remember
I skateboarded.
I finally was like good enough to push and do, stay on the board. And I remember you jumping on the skateboard and just taking off down the street and going like, apparently my mom fucking skates. I had no idea.
I skated till I was 26. I would put you guys down for a nap. Me and your dad bought a house out in Rosamond, California. And I put you guys down for a nap, and I'd get on my board and go all the way into the street and back. And that was like my deal. And then you'd wake up. But I jumped boards and motorcycles. I mean, from the time you were kids, that's what we did out there in the desert. Yeah. We rode. Me and my brothers rode. We ran from the cops. I mean, that's just what you did. If you didn't spell your 6-pack while you were riding your motorcycle, you were in, that was
a big win.
Yeah. I mean, my brother James has balance like I can't tell you. Yeah. That guy could pop a wheelie, hold a 6-pack, and balance me on the back at the same time. Yeah. It was just amazing.
Incredible. Right?
Yeah, he was a very good rider. So,
that's so funny.
David, not so much. Anyway, well,
there's always the one. Right?
Yeah, he's a smart one. So there you go. Yeah. He's very rich now.
All of us combined. It's so funny. I mean, because I talk about Trona a lot on here. I talk about all that stuff, but I want to why. I know you ran away with Dad when you were about 17.
I was just 16 and a half.
Tell us what was your first experience going out to the real desert, the Trona desert?
It is such an undescribable deal. Craig and me had dated. We broke up. He called me one night and said, he can't live without me. Will you move in with me? And I said, oh, hell yes. Anyways, so he loaded up his truck, or brought his truck, backed it up to my parents' house, which we had an outside balcony, 2-story. And we literally threw everything that I owned in my bedroom into the back of that truck. From the balcony, after we had all of our friends there at 8 a.m. partying to say goodbye. Right. So we took off and we drove to Trona, and I did what am I doing? Wrote my parents a note, left them a note. Basically, that's what I said. I'm out. Yeah. And so when we drove in, it was night, and you come around the mountain and there's all these plant lights because there's a big light. Yeah. Anyways, and I said to him, and it smells like ass. Yeah. So it's potash is what it is. And I said to him, what is that? And he said, well, honey, that's where they grow the flowers for the Rose Bowl. I didn't believe him. Anyway, that was my first experience in Trona. And it was just, talk about insane. That place was, just insane. It was a small town. There was 20 bars in it. That's what you did.
At the time, right? It was
booming.
Little town,
it was booming. There were stores and gas stations. And I mean, there was a lot going on in that town, but it was just, there was no rules at all.
Right. More so than even white acid.
And then growing up with, finding out about Helter Skelter, which I have to, I'm in 7th grade. This is the scariest thing I've ever heard of. Right. And then I run into people that are literally living there that are from the Manson family, and I'm just like, what?
Because they basically all went there to hide out.
They were in Parker Ranch.
Yeah.
Parker Ranch. That's where he got caught. Yeah.
Well, he got, so like after the murders and all the shit in the Manson, I think a lot of them scattered up there. Or is this pre the murders?
No, this is pre the murders.
Pre-murders.
So pre-murders, a young lady anyway who lived there. I won't say her name, but anyways, she lived there and was part of the deal, and it was just a normal deal for the people. They're like, yeah, whatever. You know, she told me a story one time that her and Charlie went to kill her grandma, but the car broke down, so they didn't. And I thought, wow, I'm out. Really? Anyway, so but I met the most interesting people. Some that I'm still lifetime friends with, but others everybody wants to go to Trona. The kids. The girls love it. Shauna loves to go to Trona, Marie. Right. I hate it. I hate the town. I hate everything about it.
You got a lot of.
It was insane. Yeah, it was just chaos. So
so like when you get there, right? Were you living in a house?
No, we were in a trailer
because I've heard all sorts of things. Right?
Yeah. No.
Dad wanted to live in a cave.
Oh yeah. He was going to build me a house in a cave because it stays 70 degrees all year round. It was the life that I lived with your father was insane.
Yeah.
But I learned so much in my life to survive. It was because there was my parents, I didn't have to survive with my parents.
Right.
I was given everything. I had a great room. They had money. It didn't matter, you know. But with him, I had to survive. But when we got there, we lived in a trailer. There was 25 trailers, maybe 50 that were all identical that had S's on them.
Okay.
So they were all for Searle Valley. Anyway, so that's where he was living at that time. And
this in Trona?
In Trona, right when you come into Trona, the first part. Yeah, there's 3 sections to Trona.
Right.
So this is the West End is what they call it. So that was funny enough that stories and stories of people getting drunk and going into the wrong trailer because they all looked exactly the same. You know, like, what are you doing in here?
But you and Dad are like 17.
Yeah, I'm 16 and a half and he's like just 18.
Just barely.
18. Yeah.
And Dad at this point is working in mines and
he's always a heavy equipment. It didn't matter. We went from there, we went to Bakersfield. We pretty much went Trona, Lancaster, Bakersfield, but it didn't matter. He'd pack the house up in 2 days. I'd pack it. We'd split. He'd go to another job. He'd walk out onto the job site and jump on a piece of their equipment and he would roll and they would say, what are you doing here?
He's like, I'm your new guy.
Yeah, I'm your new guy. So he was pretty fearless at that time in his life. But Trona was just, there was so many people I met. I met, crazy people, Greek people that literally ended up there from Greece.
Really?
Yeah, from Greece. How the hell do you end up in Trona from Greece?
You come from this beautiful
oh my God. And you ended up that hellhole. Anyways, that didn't go so well for Leo. He got murdered. So anyways, it's such a long story.
Yeah, I want to hear more.
There's so many.
I remember a few characters when I was around. Vogel.
Yes.
I remember fucking obviously Kathy was around, but you were never around then. You know what I mean? I remember obviously all
Coyote.
Yeah.
I mean, what is
Coyote,
it?
Dr. Bates.
Okay,
right?
Crow. I'm like, people just name people out there after dogs and animals. Right. That's how bad the town is.
I just remember Crow and his nuts. That was it.
Oh my God.
This guy would wear Daisy Dukes, like literal actual Daisy Dukes all the time. And he'd fucking go to bend over and you're like, oh, I'm 12.
There was a hippie John. Just crazy people. The characters that your dad brought home on a daily basis, preacher, I mean, was insane.
Yeah.
There was never a day he didn't go out to the mine for 3 or 4 days, show back up with literally, you're like, where did you find him? Like, was he in the mine? Anyways, we're going to give him what? We're going to give him our last $5 in a pie. Okay. But that was, it was a crazy time. And there was just no rhyme or reason about what was going on.
Yeah.
I was having babies and he was working and drag. We were all going with each other, that was
feel like it's just an absolute blur that time at this point?
I don't think it is. I mean, I don't regret 1 minute of it. And I don't hold grudges, obviously. Me and Craig are still good friends.
Yeah.
I've tried to always keep it civil between you. I should have probably just punched him straight in his face more than once. I tried a couple times, but anyways, he's pretty fast. But it's just, it was always important for you guys not to, feel all that animosity and hate.
Yeah, I know. You did a really good job of
that. I mean, that was just my whole deal.
I see, friends and people that we talk to and it's, you know, and of all the people that you could have badmouthed, you know what I mean? He probably would have been the guy, you know what I mean? But you never did it. You know
no.
I mean? And it's why, you know, I just don't, because you've always been so good at holding people together and holding our family together and holding all these things together, right? A million fucking kids call you their mom, right? I mean, and all our friends, everything.
But what a privilege is that?
I know, but
to do that.
Like, why? Like, where does, because
I have no idea.
You don't know?
You know, I think from what I hear of, and here's another long story. I have a Wendell Grigg. I was born with my dad was not my dad. Anyway, so I had a dad.
Right.
My mom got pregnant when she was 18, blah, blah, blah. His name is Wendell. I hear stories about him, and I hear a lot of things about him that remind me of the things that I did.
Really?
So maybe in that aspect, maybe genetic.
Yeah.
He was a kind man. He loved children. You know, he was wild and out of control. I mean, my parents, they got married. My mom gave him 3 weeks to get a job, and he went out and stole tires. And I was like, well, what's the matter with that? What's the matter with that? What's the matter? Yeah. Anyway, so she kicked him out. But, you know, it's just, that's just it. I don't know where it comes from. Honestly, the love for you guys. I mean, when I had you guys, I looked at you and I was like, that's it. Till death do us part, period. Right. And that was it. That was it for me. So
yeah. Yeah, it's so, I mean, I don't know, because some people don't have that gene, right?
My parents weren't that. They're kind and loving, but my house was not open. It was a pain in the butt to ever get anybody to be able to stay the night.
Right.
You know, our house was, you know, a basic flop house, but
you think
with
it was
rules.
A reaction to that?
Maybe.
Kind of just wanting to be that open.
I kind of, you know what? Honestly, I don't know that I had any rhyme or reason. I just rolled with my shit. You know, I mean, I don't even know that there was a direction or that I had reasons. I just kind of went with it and how I felt. And, you know, I have a compassion for kids and, you know, obviously, and I love kids and they make me laugh and I think they're hysterical. And there was a lot of kids that just didn't have any direction or a parent.
Especially out there. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, out in Toronto, there was a lot of fucking parents, I'm sure that.
Oh my God. Just even all the way back to Roseman, we lived there, the little Monica down the street. Remember, we took her in because her parents never came for her to the house. Ever. Yeah. You know, so I don't know how that all came about, but it's been a blessing in my life for sure.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, I want to hear a good Toronto story. Do you got anything that just pops in your mind?
Well,
like this is.
There's so.
I know. I want to hear. I know you have so many. Yeah.
There's so many that I need to write it down. But there's one where your dad was never. He went to. You know, I never understood people that went to bars for 8 and 10 hours a day.
Right.
Hence, I became a bartender, and then I got it.
Yeah.
But if I would have understood that when he was out, so he would go to work, go to the bar. I wouldn't see him till 2 or 3 in the morning. Right. I was living up in Homewood Canyon, which is a ways out, about 40 miles out of town. And, you know, I had babies and I would literally I was pregnant and I had a bunch of dudes that lived up the street, the Thornton brothers. And every morning they would help me push my 61 Volvo pregnant to jumpstart it so I could take off and go into town every single morning. But I mean, that was just part of the deal. Yeah. There was.
Now, when we say Homewood Canyon,
yes,
there needs, and I've talked about this a little bit. This is literally, I mean, you probably lived in a house that was up there, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it was a house.
But when we say houses,
I made it a house.
Shacks.
Yeah.
That are in a canyon in the middle of the fucking backside of Mojave.
Yeah.
Desert,
this one was a really cool house. And literally you could tell that the bathroom was added on because, and even though I kept it as nice as I could, somehow there was some wind that was coming through when you were sitting in the bathroom, you know?
A step up from dirt.
Yeah. I mean, but it was a beautiful little weird area. Yeah. And, you know,
they would help you push start your car.
Push start my 61 Volvo to get down the hole. And I was very pregnant because either to go find your dad. So one of the guys that you spoke about, I hadn't seen your dad for overnight, woke up in the morning, pissed off, went down, and Vogel, Mike Vogel was a good friend of his. Well, I went to your grandpa's yard and there was your dad's broke down truck and his feet hanging out of the truck, passed out. Right.
Yeah.
So I got a bat and I went over to feet and nailed him in the shins as hard as I could. And when they jumped up, it was Mike Vogel, not Craig. anyways, so that was poor Mike. I always think about him because I bruised, I racked him in the legs, and when it jumped up, it was Mike, because they all wore their work boots and jeans. Anyways, so I mean, the shit that your dad did made me this crazy person.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
You're living in a reactive world.
It was just, him and Dr. Bates would drive off, and I picked up whole cans of dog food and would chuck them at him as they were heading to the bar. And, he turned around and just said, boy, she sure was pissed off. And I was like, oh my God. But
and Dr. Bates, because I vaguely remember
Dr. Bates.
What happened. How did this guy end up in our lives?
Have no idea. But he just showed up, and he was not a doctor.
Not a doctor.
But
Dr. Nick.
He was a geologist of some sort, a man-made geologist. But he just slept on our couch for like 11 years. I mean, 11 fucking years. I mean, I was like, dude, I am so, and he had the nicest wife and these great kids that lived in Bakersfield, and every now and then they would come visit. And he had a family. In fact, his son died on the way to visit him in Trona.
Oh my God.
Rolled a car. Wow. So anyways, but yeah, had a wife and these two beautiful kids. And he went out to all these mining jobs. And anyways, I don't know how he landed on our couch for 11 years, but literally, you can have a family photo of me holding one of the kids just born, and Bates is in the background. Totally. I'm like, oh my God.
It's like the guy on the couch in that movie Half Baked. You know what I mean? He's like, just like some dude sleeping there. I vaguely remember in parts of my life, my early life, this guy just being on the couch.
Yeah. He was just your dad's bud, man. And that's what they did. They went mining together, and they opened a business. They did the gold mine together, and they were partners, and, got drunk together and whatever. But it was just, Trona is just, there's so many stories of that place. And not only that place, there's stories in Bakersfield where we were, it just, we were two young kids. We were rogue, man. We just ran and, started having babies, dragging them around.
I don't remember ever being in Bakersfield.
Because you didn't live there.
I didn't.
It was pre-babies.
Okay,
yeah.
Got it.
So when I had you, I told him I wanted to own a home. So he bought me a goddamn home in Roseman.
Right.
Because I wouldn't live in Trona.
Yeah.
I was not doing it. So
we did live there for a little while.
Yeah.
I remember.
We did. You were probably 4. Carly was 2.
Yeah.
Mandy was born. I brought her home to Trona.
Right.
So, and then after that, I said, I'm out of here, so, but it was a great, insane, crazy life. And, when we decided, or we didn't decide, he decided he didn't want to be a part of it anymore, then I just had to roll and do what I had to do.
Right.
So I sold a house in Roseman myself, and I moved into the Love Shack. The Love Shack, which was literally a 2-bedroom house with no hallway. It was a 2 bedrooms, a hallway, because I came from a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house and had to, and moved into this.
It was literally 850 square feet.
It was so small.
It was so tiny.
And the porch was bigger than the house, which was my saving grace, because I would lock you guys in the house and go on the porch. But I mean, it's just so many great things. People say, you wonder, dragging your kids with you. I took you guys everywhere I went. I rolled with you, whether it helped or hindered. I don't know.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
It's a weird thing because you don't, I could have never understood it until I had my own kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I've called you many, many times to apologize for and I thought I was a pretty good kid.
You were a good kid. I did find out things you did later, but I was you're a good kid. Yeah, you were very sneaky. Carly took the hit a lot. And Mandy just lied. Mandy just told you honestly what she was doing. That chick floored me every day.
Yeah.
I'm going to this party and I'm going to drink Jack Daniels. Okay. Like, why are you telling me?
Yeah.
Like, why are you not sneaking it? Like, it was just so confusing.
Yeah.
Every personality, every kid, just insanity. You're just like, okay, right. No, but.
Yeah. But I mean, just the fact that, you never
you know what I mean? Like no matter the chaos that we did grow up in, right? Which was,
it was,
I don't view it as really traumatic. I mean, there obviously is shit that happened.
Right.
It's crazy, right? Like, but when I tell people how we grew up, it's like nothing even fucking close to like what you guys did. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing close. You know what I mean? So like, obviously there's been a lot of trauma and shit, but you don't seem to view your life as surviving fucking, like, the trauma doesn't kill you, right?
No,
like,
and there's been we laugh about it a lot, but there was a lot of trauma in my life to me personally. Between people, family, dog, everything, a lot of stuff. I mean, I worked at a feline compound and trained the tigers and
Please,
so that was a
wild fucking time,
dude. I got in some trouble, and I had when I went to court, the judge gave me 4,000 hours of community service. 4,000. I was like, well, how am I going to do this and get my kids? Yeah, like I got sentenced to a full of just helping people out. Yeah. Anyway, so I was like looking around and I was like, well, there's a feline compound that had opened out in Roseman, and there was bears, tigers, horses, and there was bobcats. It was insane.
Right.
I mean, there was an 800-pound tiger named Bear there, which my picture was on the wall with him forever. I took an ex-boyfriend out there one time, and he was like, what? Because I said nothing as we went in, and he's like, that chick looks just like you.
That is me.
That is me. He's like, what? Yeah. But it was an amazing, I started out taking care of the horses, feeding them, walking them out, and then realized like the next 2 days, I was literally chopping that horse up to feed to the tigers. I think somebody should have told me that. You know what I mean? Talk about trauma, right? I was like, where's Chief? Anyways, but I was like, no. So where's
He's
Chief?
hanging out of fucking bear's mouth
that's his carcass right there. Anyways, but I had so much, got so much experience. You guys came out there a lot. I don't know if you remember it. But I mean, you came out there a lot, and I worked my ass off at that place, scraping. I got pissed on by an 800-pound tiger. Have you never been peed on by a tiger, or anybody could actually say that?
Right. Yeah.
You've never been pissed on. I don't give a shit. It's a garden hose of hell.
No amount of
and you're between. Nope. Anyways, I beat it all, and I'm locked in a little area between the tiger and a wall. Which a gate, you never actually go in with them, you're just on the outside, but and people with wild animals, don't even get me started.
Yeah.
Animals are so wild, and you learn to respect them when you're in the wild anyways. Yeah. And I say that because me and you were on a hill, and this goes on to another story in Trona. Sorry, I jump around.
No, it's fine.
But we're sitting on a rock. Okay, so your dad's like, we're gonna go hiking and look for gold mine and whatever. Good God,
we're gonna go look at mountains made.
Anyway, so I put you on in a backpack, and you're probably about 1 year old, and we start hiking and stuff like that, and we go, and so I'm tired. It's hot.
Yeah.
So I sat on a rock, and your dad scurried down the hill to go to a creek or something that was down there to check out something that he saw. Well, as I'm sitting there, he's screaming and pointing at me. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Like that. So I see him running up this hill as fast as he can. By the time he got almost to me, I turned around and there was a mountain lion behind us.
No way.
Yeah. So it had been stalking us for a long time. Anyways, and what does he do? He shoots at it as he's coming up the hill. He's shooting at it past me and you at the hill.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was just like, you stupid son of a bitch.
Scared him off.
Oh yeah, it was gone. And and anyways, I was just so back to the feline compound. I worked that for 3,570 hours, and they finally wrote off some stuff. But I worked with a lot of tigers and panthers and stuff like that. I mean, it was insane.
I remember you telling me a story about a guy getting swiped.
I went in with the two panthers that were in the Playboy commercial years ago.
Okay.
They had two, and so the lady was training it. She had them sitting on pedestals. She says, okay, you're going to get in the cage. First time I've ever gotten in a cage with them as I was there. And I said, all right, this is great. And as I went in, one of the Panthers swiped her and knocked her out cold. So now I'm standing there. She's cold on the ground. There's 2 Panthers on a pedestal. And I'm thinking to myself, this is going to go fucking bad, right? So what do? So when you're in that situation, they have you slowly back up and there's this button you hit, alarms go off and people come over. You know, that could really go bad. You're in the cage. Yeah. So I did exactly that. And luckily the guys came, they had the zappers and they opened the door and I fell out the door. Yeah, they got her out and she was pissed because she was bruised from it hitting her. It was like being punched in the face, you know? Yeah. And I thought, well, my tiger, I'm done. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, I don't need to train him. Yeah, but you know,
I remember being a kid and going out there to visit you.
Oh yeah, I remember. What do you remember? Peaches.
I remember the Peaches. Yeah. That weird little like.
She was a bobcat. No, the pointed a lynx.
A lynx that was raised on a boat, right?
Right, and she shit in a toilet.
Yeah. So I remember I'd be walking through there, and you'd like walk by, and there'd be this like lynx on a toilet, like taking a shit.
That was the only place she would shit. Yeah, yeah, it was
like
insane.
Only desert shit.
It's just who in the hell else would do that? I think I had a choice to go to an old folks home and crochet shit, and I said no way. You know, like I couldn't do it. So, anyways, that was my tiger bearing years. I'm done with all that. So but
I mean, what when people talk about their fucking trauma and this and that, like part of me goes, really?
But did you really?
But is it really that bad? Like, did you see how I grew up?
I
see
feel
how you fucking grew up? Like,
yeah.
Like I know you've talked at length about, you know, the pussification of the world now, right?
So,
you know what I mean?
But so many
pussies. I just don't know, like, that shit, what breaks people sometimes is so incredibly minuscule compared to the crazy fucking chaos that other people go through.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Well, now you trip over something and somebody gets broke or you say something. It's just a different world, but I don't think it's bad. You know, I mean, as far as where it's going, there's just not that much chaos. I take that back. There's still a lot of terrible things going on, but it just seemed like when I was raising you guys, it was a continuous like, whoa, where are we going to get the money to pay for that? You know, I mean, like it was just like all the time, but you just keep going, man. Yeah. You just keep going.
Where a lot of people would have quit a million fucking years
ago. Dude,
and you see that whole town is littered with people that quit.
And I do.
And this town everywhere.
Everywhere. People quit all the time.
I know.
They just talk about like, I'm not going to tolerate that for my kids, so I'm going to kick them out. Like they're 13.
Right.
You're an asshole. You don't get the choice to throw your kid out on the street just because they turn into a dick because you were probably one. You know what I mean? Like that's just not the case. You're going to have to fondle through that somehow and figure it out.
Yeah.
And you guys talk about trauma. I'm the one who suffered.
Raising us.
Raising you guys. Yeah. I mean, I remember going on the side of the house and banging my head on the wall. Like, are you kidding me?
I remember like many times. Like, I think we broke mom.
Yeah. Like she's done. She's loose. Did you see her? She just hopped the wall. She's out.
And I get it. I mean, you know, as being a dad now, like
those girls, it was brutal. Tough. Oh my God. Brutal. I was like, I used to tell you all the time, you know, don't join a gang, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You were a good kid. Yeah. All my girls did. They did everything they weren't supposed to. I took my first vacation at 40 and I went to Hawaii for 2 weeks. And the shit that happened at my house, you know, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to kill you. So anyways, but you know, and you're always protecting your kids, but I was never a kid. I was never a mom that said my child would never.
Right.
I always said, fuck, really?
Yeah.
Well, you know, so you kind of know yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go way forward. I just had knee replacement.
Yeah.
I felt like I woke up in the middle of knee surgery.
Yeah.
And so I said to my doctor, who is so good looking. I said, I think I woke up in the middle of surgery. And he said, well, let me tell you the story. I said, oh God, here we go. And he said he was doing my knee surgery. Mm-hmm. And he all of a sudden looked down and he felt something and my hand had came out and I was just patting him on his ass as he was doing the surgery. And I said, well, that sounds like me, right? It sounds like me. Yeah. Anyways, but, and I said, oh, well, I think I was tapping out. Why didn't you help me? Yeah. But anyways, you just you kind of know yourself and your kids and you say, yeah, he probably did ram all the mailboxes on that street or run over every trash can that was full, so you just got to keep, I think, that all in perspective of, your kids will, and they will do it, they will do it.
Well, there's also something to be said for letting your kids grow up a little wild, right?
I think.
You know what I mean?
I think if your mother's wild, you don't have much of a choice.
Yeah, well, and I went the opposite way, right?
You did.
I went religious when I was a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I rolled right with you.
I know.
I jumped into the church and was like, all right, let's do this. Let's do this.
Fucking Jesus.
Yeah. What the fuck did he say? Anyway, so.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's, I think a lot of the hover parents and all that stuff, which I know it drives you fucking nuts, the hovering.
Oh my Lord.
And all that stuff. I mean,
you have to let people grow, man.
Right?
I mean, you can't let them disrespect. And that's a big thing that I have in my world of who I was compared to what parents do these days. Because you know what? I would grab you and whip your ass in the store. And I don't mean punch you or I just give you a good spanking on your butt. You'd straighten right up and it'd be a done deal.
Yeah.
You can I did not have to hit you. I would just talk about it and you'd break out in a cold sweat.
Curled,
Carly, I hit her for everything. She got it twice. Mandy, she lied or she told the truth. And it was just all different with each kid, but I really didn't, spank you guys a whole lot.
No,
but I had, you guys acted right. We went in a store, you stood, you held, you were quiet. You didn't throw a fit at the candy line. Right. And if you did, it wasn't a good thing.
I know. Well, you would spank other people's kids. I remember.
I still want to spank other people's kids.
I bet you do.
I have seen, I was in a clothing store one time and a little guy was running through the store screaming inside the clothing. And this went on for 30, 40 minutes. You guys are with me. I don't know if you remember, but I was like, don't move. You're not running through the store.
We would walk through the store
those soldiers. Yeah. I mean, you guys would test me here and there, but if I wasn't looking. But this guy would go in between, grab the clothes as you would open up to look at something. He'd be there and grab it and rip it to the ground. And he was doing that over and over again. Finally, I just grabbed him. He did it to me. I grabbed him by his hair, shook his head, and stuck him back in there. Right. And then he screamed off running about something. I said, he bumped his head on the bar, but you know what? That kid stopped. And now I'd go to jail. Yeah. Now I would go to jail. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't there. So
no, it's just, it's different.
It's a different world.
I don't know. It's just that, I don't feel like I got my ass whipped a lot. And I definitely deserved it when I did. That's how I view it, at least. You know what I mean? But I just, you see, and I don't spank my kids. Yeah. And I probably fucking should. You know what I mean? Every once in a while.
Each his own.
But it just doesn't work. It devastates King if I slap him in the back of the head or something. You know what I mean? And I've done it maybe twice ever. You know what I mean? And it's really my frustration.
Right.
You know what I mean? Is what I've realized over the years is that I'm the one that's fucking frustrated.
Oh, yeah. And I was frustrated.
Yeah, totally.
And I was a slapper and a yeller.
Yeah.
So I'd slap you in syllables.
Yeah.
God damn it. Why did you do that, son? But you got 4 kids, you run it. Your dad told me one time that he remembers riding a Schwinn and then all of a sudden they had 4 kids, And I said, yeah, well, bitch, I didn't even get on the Schwinn.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like that. So I get it, it's just something whole different.
Just learn as you go, right? But,
right.
I mean, the funny part is kids around you automatically fall in line. They don't you know what I mean? When we were visiting, some people, and my kids literally what this kid needs? He needs to go spend a week with Grandma Tammy.
It's just there's a no tolerance of complete. I mean, believe me, now with my grandkids, and I'm a little bit older, there's things that they do, and I'm just like, that sucked. You know what I mean? I think it was probably Bronson that grabbed my reading glasses and ripped them in half. Yeah. And you said, if that was me when I was a kid, you would have, I said, yeah, but what are you going to do? Like it's a little bit different, but I don't have any tolerance for the disrespect shown, as of things that went on when we lived in the Catherine house. There's the people in the back when Montavo was rolling with, things. I just didn't tolerate it. And
you had every fucking stray kid from Montalvo, all the homies. You know what I mean?
They came to my window and ate breakfast.
And you'd fucking be handing out breakfast out of the window.
Because they truly didn't get to eat.
I know.
Those kids, like there was a lot of kids that they didn't have that family time.
Right.
And, through all the years of all the kids and everybody that came through my house, every kid I ever met loved it when I said, grab the damn vacuum now and start. Yeah. They just were like, they wanted to be a part of that. And, there's just a lot of parents out there that weren't ready or not good enough or just plain shitty.
Yeah.
So
even Mike Schaefer, Mike Dreyer, my friends. These were kids that grew up in different fucking worlds.
Yeah.
They loved being over.
Oh my God.
Because you'd put them to work
always,
and they'd fucking
yell at them.
Fun, we could have fun, but you'd slap them.
I did.
I remember when
I fed them. I fed all of them. So.
But you also fucking, drilled Mike in the back of the head with a fucking shoe so hard he got rubber on his face.
Oh my God, that was such a good one. I recently had a shufu incident where
my mom, like any Mexican mom, which she's not, is incredible at throwing fucking shoes.
It is years of practice.
I know, it's next level.
But so Riley was at the house and she was being a little shit. And this is just like last year. Mm-hmm. And so she ran out to the sliding glass door and was doing this, bobbing back and forth. And I took my shoe off real slow and sailed that and nailed her between the eyes. And I was like, yes.
Yeah,
and
I think I have it on video.
She was just shocked, so, but
I remember every one of our reactions was like, yeah,
I know.
That's what I fucking like, man.
I took that. You can take it too. Yeah. Yeah. I see that a lot with the kids. They're just, it's just a different world right now. And that's okay. It's good, man. Yeah. And I don't want to raise my grandkids. I want to love them and give them stuff and hang out with them. And they think they have opinions and they think they're all right. And it's just great. You know what I mean? You're just like, what?
And it must give you joy to see us in pain.
Oh my God, so much. I just, she fucking said what to you? Oh, you're kidding me.
I know.
Why would somebody do that to you? Anyways, it's definitely something to watch. And a lot of times I just sit back and laugh and I'm like, oh man, that sucks. But life, that's what it is. We got a ton of stories. It raised you guys with a shitload of character.
Yeah.
Everybody's a survivor. You guys all shake people's hands. You look in their eyes. You're good kids. You're good people. Yeah. So you're going to raise good people too. That's how I feel about it.
I feel like every intervention starts with, they were such a sweet kid.
Yeah.
You're like,
I know what. Is this a documentary?
Yeah.
Anyways, of what happened. But it is, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. And I think being blind like I was, just rolling with everything was exactly where you probably need to be. I would never want, and nobody run out and get pregnant at 16. Okay. It's a bad thing. But it just made me go. I was like, okay, well, that's not good. Well, he didn't feel good about that, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we did. And I just felt like I wouldn't want to have kids any older than that at that time in my life. And
because now you're in your early 40s and you have plenty of grandkids. Yes. What are we at? 14 now? I don't know.
14 with Kira, I believe. So there's a lot.
It's a lot.
And it's weird too, because they're older now, so they don't have as much time. What they always wanted to stay at my house.
Yes.
And it was always chaos. You couldn't just take one, you took 8.
Right.
You're like, oh my God, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
But now, you get them where they roll up like Ian, or show up like McKenna.
Yeah.
And like, hey, I'm hungry. Well, get in there. Let's cook. That's kind of fun to do that. I need a sandwich or I need this laundry wash. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
But. Well, that's good. I just, it's so funny because it feels like that way is so unique now, just to be,
I think it is,
but also to be able to roll with the punches that you had to roll through, you know what I mean? And we're just touching the tip of the fucking iceberg.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Crazy fucking stories, right? I mean,
yeah, a lot of heartache, you know, heartbreak. Tried to get through that with raising kids and not show it.
Yeah.
You know, perfect example, when I just had cancer, I kind of retreated to an area. I didn't want everybody to see how sick I was or how bad I felt.
Yeah.
Because I love you guys that much, you know. But in return, thinking about it, you know, I should have probably had some more. I should have probably sat around you guys a little bit more because you bring joy to me, you know? So it was like,
it's such a
personal.
I mean, when
demon.
Rosie, you know, it's just, I learned a lot
through
about
it.
people, you know, I mean, when we went through that, and it was just,
oh my God. People run and
people don't react.
Yeah.
How you think and you don't even know how you want people to react. Right. And I never had cancer.
Nothing. You know, you don't know anything. You don't know how you feel. You don't know.
Do you feel now how far you're a year? Plus
I'm like a year. Right? I'm a year in remission, a solid year. Right. So I feel, you know, excited, terrified. You're always scared it's going to come back.
Right.
Because there's so much reason for it to come back. You know, you just like with the way things are, but you just have to roll. It changed me a lot.
Yes.
It changed me a whole lot.
Yeah.
Deep
you are
inside,
a different human.
I am. It changed my DNA. It changed my drinking. I was, you know, I drank.
Right.
And I like to drink and it was good. And now, you know, to me, chemo was hangover times 500 and I never want to feel that feeling again.
Right.
I mean, in my whole life.
Yeah.
So I was, you know, but it's changed a lot about me. It's changed what I think about life.
Yeah.
You know, where I want to be, you know, and you don't go tell everybody everything, you know, when they told me like, you either do this treatment or in 6 months, you won't be here.
Right.
When you get hit with something like that, you're like, well, that's not right.
Yeah. Well, especially with the shit you survived.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like,
you know, I've been pissed on by a lion.
You know, and everybody's like, well, I'm going to have a talk with God when I get up there because something went haywire.
Yeah.
You know, but you're just like, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this chapter to end yet.
Right.
So I'm going to battle this bitch to the ground.
But that's how, I mean, it was almost your life has built you for this moment, you know.
Maybe it has.
Not that you ever fucking should have had.
Yeah.
But, you know, of all the humans on earth, you know, when I cancer should have been terrified to be around.
Absolutely. You know I agree.
You know, and I felt the same with Rosie. You know what I mean?
You find, you know, I'm watching my mother go through it right now. And I was positive. I've always found a positive something in my life.
Right.
Always. If I'm under stress, it's when I'm at my best.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I really pick up, as I tell you guys, pull up your bootstraps and get on with your shit, put on your lipstick and your earrings and roll.
Right.
You know, that's just kind of where it's at. But, you know, you just have to remember to, that not everybody handles shit like that.
I know. It's crazy.
You know, that not everybody can be that positive or can, you know, go think about it and think, okay, well, this is where we're going to go.
Right. But staying positive through anything like that, through any of the trials and tribulations through life is what gets you through that.
I think it is.
I think it's a mental game.
If you go negative and you just fall down and give into it, then it's going to eat you alive.
It will.
Every situation in your life.
I feel like it goes for not just cancer.
Yeah. Every situation.
Every fucking thing. Right?
If you don't find something to pull out and say, fuck yeah, I could do that. You know, then
learning experience.
It is. Make it. Yeah. You got to learn and hear and you got to listen too to people. That's something I've learned in my later years because I was always so busy telling everybody what the fuck to do, you know, because I was in charge. I've had to completely learn to be not in charge. My kids are grown. They're all parents. They're all raising their kids the way they're going to raise them. Mm-hmm. And I just want to be around to see what happens, you know, like that's it. So you got to learn that and listen to that, you know, so you got to learn to listen as you get older.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to listen. I'm not used to listening.
Yes, we're a lot alike.
And I thrive in chaos too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't write a record or play music or do anything creative unless I'm in actual chaos.
Absolutely.
I have to be having a kid or a fucking changing jobs or, you know what I mean?
Just if I had to paint a portrait, you know, I would have a bottle in one hand, a cigarette in the other, a thing of chocolate, 3 kids hanging off me, riding a motorcycle, you know what I mean? Jumping over a pit of snakes, you know, and then, and that really pretty much would sum up when I was out with a big grin on my face, like that's how I learned to roll. And I just rolled with it. I didn't know how else to do it.
Yeah. So. But I mean, over the years though, I mean, I've noticed you are so much more patient, you know what I mean? It's not that I understand why you would be impatient when you're raising us, because we didn't make it easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And being a parent is just fucking hard.
It's the hardest thing. It's so hard.
It's the absolute hardest.
I mean, you have humans that have personalities that you didn't ask or order.
Right.
And they've got their own deal, and you got to learn how to get in between them and take care of them or whatever. But
I chalk it up to kids are a version of you that has all of your worst attributes and worst fucking mannerisms staring at you in the face most of the time. You're like, God,
you're like, what?
Damn it.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, like Bronson or one of the kids will make a face at me. I'm like, that's my face.
Yeah.
That's the face that I'm supposed to make.
Yeah, exactly.
They just
it is shocking, it's just all the time it's shocking about, and the way the world is too. It's terrifying because I might be here another 30 years if I'm lucky.
No.
You know what I mean? But these guys are going to go on in this shit that's going on. You know,
do you think it's worse than it was, or do you think we just know about everything now? You know what I mean? Like there's always a pervert scare, right? In every fucking neighborhood, every section of the world. It's like, like, do you think the world is actually worse than it was?
I do, because the perverts, when I grew up, they were in the Pintos parked in the parking lots. You know what I mean? Like, and you're walking by and got, like, come on, dude, whatever, Sure. But now they're taking our children. Yeah. They're removing our children. You're on a street, that kind of stuff for me is every parent's nightmare. So that part of it, I think, is worse. Yeah, I think the kids are way more educated.
Yeah.
When we were younger, you had a water fight, you played smear the can.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I mean, but I do think it's a weirder world.
I see. That's what I struggle with, because it's like,
I do.
When I grew up, or in the desert, like, we got chased by fucking weirdos and shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was the same. Like, I've been almost abducted a couple times. You know what I mean?
Me too. I
just wonder now. It's like, with all the helicopter parenting, with the overprotection of our children, is it really as bad as it's said, or do we just know about everything because everything's on fucking social media all the time?
The social media is definitely the downfall of everything. If I had, how I feel, if I had my choice, I'd crush everybody's phones, especially all the kids. I can't stand it. Some of the adults, I'm like, dude, it's out of control. And, and I would say, hey, and anytime you actually do that to a kid, you take their phones and you put them in life, forest, vacation. Right. It's a whole, your child turns into somebody else.
Yeah. Totally.
So that media affects everybody.
It does.
And it affects me. I won't watch the news too many times, but I do have to watch it at least once a day to figure, okay, well,
is there a volcano
which rock and roll star died this week in my age, So, because people are picking off like flies when you're getting your, 57, 58. But I think it's a weirder world. Like, I just can't say it. Definitely not. It's just weird. And I don't like that part of it.
No, of course.
I don't like that part of it.
But that's what I struggle with is like, you grew up, well, I consider myself the latchkey kid, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
I was always
home
working
from school. Yeah, you were working. I got home, fucking let the kids in. We do the thing. I mean, it's not because you were negligent. It was just you were fucking working 3 jobs.
Yeah.
So it's like none of that. But we survived. You know what I mean? And we survived fine, and we dealt with fucking weirdos, and we did the thing.
But
I'm not talking about just perverts.
Right. But my question is, why have the parents decided to not have their kids survive? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like what we automatically, I know how I protect my grandchildren now. It's like, if I walk out and what are you looking at? Like, what's
keep walking.
Come on, buddy. Yeah. He's like, God, I got groceries and a dog, but you're just automatically on alert all the time.
I don't know. I think I don't view it as this, but I could see for, when kids grow up and feel unsafe, right? It's maybe something that just they transferred unconsciously to their kids, because they know all you have is your past experiences that you can put on your kids, right? And what I deal with is not pushing my past experiences on my kids. Like as far as like my fears, my fucking irrational bullshit. That,
right.
I grew up with, or we, just you end up gathering throughout your life.
Absolutely.
Right? So I try that a lot, is to not put my shit on them, because my experience isn't their experience.
Right.
My kids are growing up in a much cushier world than we did, for sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I just think a lot of it is a reaction to the fact that the world is safer. Like, but now the only thing that we have to do is double check social media to make sure there's not something fucking weird going on, or we get caught up in these little fucking minuscule things where, and I'm speaking for my thing, because there's obviously people scraping for food right now.
Of course.
But like my kids are never going to know the true chaos of Trona.
Yeah, no.
Or Roastman.
But then you always wonder too, like, is it a lazy world?
It because could be.
The parents push their kids off and like, get the phone. Yeah. Take the phone. Right. Instead of you in here, take the phone. So it's a lazy world in the sense of people are like, hey, get on that. I'll give you a half an hour, which turns into an hour. I'm guilty of it. You know what I mean? 100%. Like I'm like, dude, if I had a phone to give you guys when we sat down to a dinner in a restaurant, you know what I mean? But no, I had to fight through the whole thing. Knock it off. Give you the butthole.
It definitely changes.
You know. So it's like, but is it just a lazy world where the parents just are so busy and wrapped up in their own shit that they're just not going to do that full deal? And then the people that live on the grid, off the grid, they're weird or whatever, because they go overboard. There's got to be a happy medium somewhere there.
But I mean, when there's this whole theory, right, about like, there's one, it's super simple, but having a cell phone case.
Okay.
Right. There's like a whole theory of people that don't believe in having a cell phone case, because when you have one, you automatically don't give a shit about your phone. You drop it, you fucking do all this shit.
Okay.
But now if you don't have a case, you are conscious of this thing all the time, and you're more cautious with it. You know what I mean? Like, you treat it better.
Yes.
Right. So it's like an interesting theory.
Yeah, that is a good theory.
You know what I mean? Because like, and I've met people that are like, oh, I don't have a phone case. And King fucking drops his phone every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And his case is so destroyed that I took it off. Kid has not dropped it one fucking time. It's not cracked, and it's been months.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so,
what a concept of that.
And he is the kid. He's splat. I mean, he is the kid that fucking drops everything. But he knows now that if he does, it's over.
It's a done deal.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
no
it's
phone.
It's this interesting theory that I was thinking about. Because
that is a really interesting theory. I mean, but of the phone, but it's just, I've watched it.
But I wonder how it translates into like parenting, right? Like, this is, parents that go, look, man, these are your responsibilities.
Right.
This is what you have to get done.
Right.
And, allowing them to discover the hardship of doing it, getting it done, making it, having it be a task or whatever, rather than handing them everything all the time and doing it for them and all this stuff. And I fail in it in a million different ways. But I wonder that there is a happy medium there where you don't have to fucking go full Bushman and make your kids live on the grid, but you can live in this world and do it. But I think it's cushy, it's a cushy fucking world. And
show them, if I was raising kids at this time, it would be limited time on your phone. It would be, and I say that, but of course, then I was the queen of, you're on restriction. Okay, you're off.
2 days later, yeah.
No, I remember, not even 24 hours.
I remember being
because you're driving me nuts.
And day one, you're like, get out of the
damn house. Yeah. So would I? But the phone thing is it's just a whole other world. I watch people daily. I'm a people watcher. Driving in the car, they're talking. People are on their phones. They're on their phones. They're on their phones. They're on their phones. And stuff like that. I'm on my phone. I pay my bills on my phone, but I can set it down. I can set it down.
Yeah.
I'm okay. But like I said, I would go with, it's a lazy world in a weird way, that the kids, it's easier just to shove them off on a computer or shove them. And then you turn it around and we do this whole pandemic, and then the kids are all forced to be on Zoom.
Totally. Yeah.
And then what? They all flip out because they don't want to be on the computer the whole time. Well, you were on it for 12 hours without the pandemic.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a weird world.
And I think that, like, I don't know. It's hard because the Scout and King, like the fears of all the online shit, like destroying and obviously it can, but like destroying your ego, giving you all these shameful, comments and likes and all that shit. Yeah. Like, I really think like they have a pretty good handle on it.
That's
like,
good.
They don't, and it's weird because I think they're like one of the first generations that's grown up with this their whole entire lives.
Yeah.
So now at like ages 13 and 11, like if they read a shitty comment, it doesn't kill them. Yes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whereas I think a lot of us adults,
that's equal to losing the game playing baseball and not everybody being a winner.
Could be.
You know what I mean? Like that's like in their world, that's what it is. Exactly. Because like, when you played, you didn't always get a trophy.
Hell no.
Everybody didn't get a trophy. I might have built you a trophy if you didn't get one.
My mom had to threaten the fucking coach for me to pitch my last game.
I've threatened so many coaches of yours. Do you at football?
I know.
Oh my God. I used to drop you off and you would turn around and you would say in a really silent voice, "Help me, mommy." Oh my God, and it would kill me. And then I go to the damn thing. And that one coach that I'd like to find him to this day was grabbing you guys by your head and dragging you across the line. Totally. And he said in a meeting really smugly, "Well, Mrs. Kasamis, why don't you join us a little more often?" And I said, "Well, Mr. Jones," and I'll leave it at Ms. Jones, because if I see you drag my kid across the line one more time, I'm going to whip your ass myself. And he told me, "Okay, go ahead and stay home."
Yeah. No,
but it's
I remember when I wanted to join football so bad.
Oh my God.
And then I got there and I realized I was chunky.
Yeah.
I wasn't mean.
Yeah,
I didn't have a mean bone yet.
Nope.
And I was in a division because I was chunky, way higher than I should have been. And I just got fucking
They were
mauled.
beating the shit out of you.
Mauling
and
me.
There's Craig.
Yeah.
Boof,
I think it might be the only sport I ever quit.
Well, you did. And you begged to quit. I said, "Look, I paid $225. You're keeping this." But I also would say, I get it, man. Like I would not force you to stay there and finish it because it was not your gig.
No.
You know what I mean?
As soon as I got there, I was like, I hate this.
Yeah. It was a terrible idea.
And then I got skateboarded. So
you got a skateboard. Yeah, I bought you a guitar. I think I bought your first guitar and amp. You were probably 9. Maybe a little bit older.
No, it was
8 or 9.
12, though, right? I would have been about 12.
You think so?
Yeah, because I was in like 5th grade.
Yeah.
Grade,
so
no, not 12. I would have been. Yeah, you might.
9, 10, 11, somewhere around that area. 11, but I mean, you would ask me now, and I was like, okay, how can this go wrong?
Right. Yeah.
Hence, everybody in the garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
It went way wrong.
Yeah.
And loud. But it just went.
And you always let us do it.
It was all right.
And the neighbors fucking hated it.
Oh my God. Everybody hated it.
Yeah.
You come out and have wars with possums in there and all sorts of crazy stuff. But it was keeping you guys. I kept you guys at home.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't know it.
Yeah.
Instead of being out on the streets and out partying and stuff, you guys were in the house. You were in the garage. You were in the yards.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you were around the backyard wars. You were around, and I liked it that way. I hated worrying about you guys running out in the streets.
I just don't know one other parent that would allow a group of teenage boys to have a literal war in your backyard with all the shit laying around.
It was horrible. Anyways, you need to know that most of that was not my idea.
I know.
I was always just straight in the middle of it, all of a sudden running for my life. So it didn't, I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
Even
you would come home.
I would just be like, oh my God.
There'd be 10 boys in the backyard throwing fucking bikes,
rocks,
lawn chairs,
pieces of pianos. It didn't matter. Yeah. I thought, Jesus, is this a junkyard? But it did, like I said, I didn't ever really get a chance. It just happened. You guys thought it was a good idea. You went for it. And that's kind of what it was.
Yeah. Until it was asked for forgiveness, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
But also I remember us having a fire pit in the backyard.
Yeah.
We'd be sitting there fucking hanging out. And then you'd come home from the bar, 3 sheets of the wind, and you're like, "We didn't pay the trash bill. We got to burn some of this trash." You'd throw a bag of trash on top of the fire.
Not only a bag of trash, I've been known to burn some of our chairs, a piano, and everything else that I could find. Yeah, it was a bad deal.
That's Corona shit.
Yeah, that was just
I remember burning trash in Toronto.
Yeah, he just burned stuff. We didn't pay the bill.
But this is in Montalvo on Victoria.
Yes. But the one year we didn't pay the trash bill, and then all the bags lined up, and then it rained, and it was Halloween, and the maggots came running out. It was like a horror show.
Yeah, it was
and I kept a nice place.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean. I kept a nice home.
Yeah,
but man, that was crazy. Yeah. So, but yeah, you couldn't afford trash bills, and I was the only trash lady in Ventura for about 6 years. But it was a rough one. So, but there's just so many stories, and I don't judge about how people are raising their kids unless their kids are telling you to fuck off to your face,
right?
Or picking on old people or doing those things that are just unacceptable.
Yeah.
So, the parents are going to pay. They're going to pay for what the fuck they're doing.
You hear that, parents?
Parents are going to pay.
Yeah,
anyways, that's it.
All right, Mom.
All right.
Well, thanks for coming on the podcast.
This was so much fun.
Yeah,
I love it.
Do it again.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get into the deep Trona days.
I'll write down about 35 stories, and then we can go from there.
We'll get you started on your book.
Yeah, the book has got to be made.
Are you still going to call it Martha Stewart My Ass?
Yeah, Martha Stewart My Ass. But you know what? She turned into a jailbird.
I know.
So she kind of rolled, and Snoop Dogg's her best friend.
I know. Yeah.
So I don't know if I could do Martha Stewart My Ass or not. But it was I got to get that book going, because you just don't live that life and not get to tell it.
Right.
Somehow. Somewhere.
100%.
And so
it should be told.
I think so. I think it would be an enjoyable read.
Yeah.
I can't spell for shit, but I'll get somebody to help me out. So
that's not a great family trait. I don't have it.
Really not.
I look at posts sometimes. I'm like, idiot.
Yeah.
God.
Shauna says I text like a robot.
Yeah.
So I don't put anything in there that I'm supposed to. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Read the shit.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So all right.
All right, bye.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye.